Hello, good morning. It's a new day and we are happy to be alive. I'm sure you're happy, right? Good. Let's start off today's discussion. This should be the final point in our, I thought it was going to be a trilogy, but it's not a quartet. It's a four-part video where we talk about creation. And we'll be talking about the key characteristics of creation. We have talked about generosity. We've talked about abundance. Now we are talking about the last leg of it, which is non-discrimination. So, what is non-discrimination? It's simple. Everybody, every human being deserves your love, your respect, your consideration, your goodwill, your good wishes. Every human being. If you want us to extend it further, we can even say all life forms deserve your respect, your love, your good wishes, your blessings, your assistance, your help. Everything that has life deserves your love. Now, by non-discrimination, it also means that nothing in life should be relegated. It also means that you as a person, you should not restrict yourself to any label. Because once you accept a particular label, it colors your life, and then every other thing that is outside the sphere of that label is disrespected, disregarded, cut off. Labeling is a way human beings reduce their power. It is a process of mental compression. Those of you who are into video production understand what I'm talking about. When you shoot a video, like this one I'm shooting now is on 720p, that is HD. And then you want to now put it on YouTube, you compress it to 480. Okay, it's reduction of the pixels, that's picture elements, because it's picture element per square inch that determines the density, there's a word for that thing, the resolution of a picture or emotion image. Of course, emotion image is a series of still pictures that are sequentially placed for mobility or motion. All right, so you see me moving my hands now, moving my eyes, and all of this is an illusion of motion. It is a sequence of still images that brings about this. So we're not talking about the engineering behind motion picture, but we are talking about the human nature. So when you accept a label that reduces you, you cut off from other aspects of life that are outside the reach of that label. That is the source of discrimination. All right. Now, by non-discrimination, we are saying that your consciousness is expansive. It's so expanded that all human beings are accommodated within it. It is so expanded that all life forms are accommodated within it. In other words, you begin to see life forms, anything that has life, as a relative of yours. If you were to see your relative, would you love to hurt your relative? Would you love to exclude your relative from the assistance that you are capable of giving, knowing that they need that assistance? I think not. Now, there is even more to go. Now, naturally, life operates. We can't really run away from that, but our duty as humans is to overcome that. Okay? The concept of duality is the curse of the human mind. With the human mind, We see good and evil. We see bad, good, ugly, beautiful, fair, dark, short, tall, fat, slim, or in between. These are the ways we see life: acceptable, unacceptable. It is on the basis of these duality systems that our likes and dislikes, aversions and acceptances come into being. All of these things are reductive of the human person. We are larger than we admit. We are bigger than we think. So labeling is a way of discrimination. Now, I will take you further by letting you know that nature functions on the basis of non-discrimination. It is the basis of creation. All things are given life by nature. All things are given nurture by nature. On this principle of non-discrimination, take a human being you consider inferior, all right, and let the rain fall in your place. Like, for instance, if you took yourself to be a righteous person and you think that you are the ideal human being, you are that person that are right with God. When it rains and you have a place important to go and you step into the rain will drench you. When the unrighteous person steps into that rain, the rain will drench that person. When the sun is coming down from the sky, it is the same to everybody. If fire is on and you that claim to be a superior race, a superior tribe, a superior person on the basis of your religion or anything, if you poke your finger into that fire is going to eat your finger. It's going to lick it. It is the same way for the other person. You yawn, the other person yawns. You sneeze, the other person sneezes. We all have the same mechanism, the same motor current that runs in us, that makes us sleep, wake, makes our blood flow, and our hairs grow. All the experiences that we have of nature is equal to everybody. The sensory currents that drive you and me also drive the person you consider inferior. The sense of sight, the sense of taste, the sense of smell, the sense of hearing, and the sense of touch, feeling, they are all working in everybody. Okay? Now you say, okay, fine, I am sighted and the other person is blind, so I'm better than that person. Now, are you judging life on the basis of sensuality, of sense? Because somebody has experienced something that hampers his or her ability to see, therefore you are superior to that person? Our people have a saying that he that has not finished walking in the jungle does not take off debris from his body. In other words, you have no rights. As long as you are alive, you have no right to judge another person. In fact, there's a saying too in my place that he who has not ended his or her life, or one who has not ended their lives, have no right to castigate the blind. Because this moment you are sighted, the next moment you might not be anymore. So, give respect to all life forms. The moment you discriminate against any human being on the basis of whatever, maybe on the basis of skin tone, this is very stupid, on the basis of skin tone, of sex, of age, of tribe, of whatever reason, these are prejudicial, reasons of existence. When you use any of these things to discriminate against somebody, you are actually reducing yourself and you are placing an insult on life, because it is life that created these varieties that you are judging. Discrimination is judgmentality. Okay? It is a prejudicial sense of existence When you are prejudicial, you are living below the radar of righteousness. You are living a life of, I'm sorry to say, but I have to say it, a curse. Your life is cursed. Why? Because you are what's the word? You are disavowing life. You are taking away from life. Nobody, even the criminal, has a right to your respect, has a right to your love. You are not the judge. Even when the judge has sentenced a criminal to death, you have no rights to the person's dignity. Every human being, as long as they have their lives going on, deserves the respect of fellow human beings. Somebody is a criminal today because of a mental programming that is working in that person. That programming may have been created by society, by other people. We all have programmings, and our responses to that programming is determined by the data that drives the programming, by the background around that programming. So, our actions and inactions are sometimes mostly beyond our control because we have accepted a weakness. Just as I accept a weakness in one aspect of life, you accept weakness in other aspects of life. You know, I have a friend of mine, a very beloved friend of mine, who had the grace, the dignity to confess to me that he is very, very addicted to pornography. Now, what normally happens is for somebody to say, okay, that person is possessed, is demonic, he is lower than I is. No. But I know that we all have addictions in different areas of life. His own is pornography. I had to explain to him the damaging consequences, the mind shrinking realities that follow pornography. Okay, I am not judging him, but I'm letting him know. And in fact, there was a time I too was like that. Okay, if there was hardly a week that passed without me browsing these contents, and whenever I was bored and I didn't have any work to do something, I ended up on it. But you see, the concept of boredom on its own is also a problem, because there is no reason why a human being should be bored. When you are bored, it simply means that you have disconnected from who you are. Okay, so connection, being tied, being extricately linked with your real person, is the basis of power. And if you are connected to who you are on the inside, there is no basis for any form of addictions. I said I was going to do a video on addiction, and I will do it. Okay, just let's finish this series. And then, non-discrimination is embracing life as it is. Okay? I'll do another video to wrap up all these three concepts and how they tie in creation. Okay? Remember I said by creation, we are not talking about how this universe was created, so to say. We are not going to dabble into what we don't know. But we are talking about how we create our realities. Those realities we love, the ones we hate, how we created them, because we didn't just wake up with those things in our lives. We created them, we generated them, and we did them most times unconsciously. That is why we are forced to blame other people for it. We blame witches. When I am also going to do a video on the concept of bewitchment. Let's see whether these witches really have powers. Let's see if they are not actually using us against us. Okay, that's another thing entirely. We'll do a series on that. All right. But what I want us to understand, that when we are discriminating against people, what we are doing actually is that we are opening the doors for that which does not connect with life to affect us, because we are disconnecting from life. Yet there are people who believe that because they are of certain races, they are better off than other races. I see it on both sides of the divide. The Asian feels that they are superior to the blacks. The blacks think that they are superior to the Asians and the whites, that they are the best race. Black is beautiful, black is power. These are all racial expressions. You need to understand all these expressions in your life and begin to detach from them. They are discriminatory expressions. They are not expressions of life. Instead of saying black is beautiful, it's better to say life is beautiful. Humanity is a beauty. There are some of us who even cross the level of humanity. We don't even see ourselves as, we don't see our humanity as a basis of detachment from other levels of life. Some people see themselves primarily as blacks. Some see themselves primarily as white. Some see themselves primarily as Asians. Now, there are other people who are even worse. They see themselves primarily as Nigerians, as Americans, as French, as British. That's a disease. Because each time you identify with a smaller unit of life, you are reducing yourself to that level. Therefore, you are curtailed within that sphere, and the experiences of life within that sphere is what you're going to have. But there are broad possibilities in life. The possibilities are endless. Why don't you open up to these possibilities by first of all breaking your walls, your cocoon, your shells, break them. You are human. Enjoy your humanity. Don't become Igbo. Don't become Hausa, Fulani, Yoruba, Edo, Urobo, Ishekiri. All of that. You are more than all of these things. A friend I had so much respect for those days, once when I wrote an article on Facebook and I shared it with him, he looked at it. I was talking about this, the concept of expanding our consciousness, seeing ourselves as humans before anything else. And he told me that, sorry, my brother, I see myself first as a Yoruba man before any other thing. And I said, guy, you are lost. That is a disease. It's a disease we get by being human, running a mind. Because we just don't understand that we are bigger than these things. These things are accidents of our birth. They are karmic things. So when you accept the accident of your birth as your be it all, then you are condemned by the karma of your race. You can't grow beyond that karma. Okay? So I don't want to extend this non-discrimination because it is a massive one. We can talk about it as we go on, but the important thing to know is that you are not an Edo man. You are a human being. The other aspect of non-discrimination is sexual gender discrimination. Some people feel that I am a man. That's why you talk about male chauvinism coming into the place. So say, no, I'm a woman. I see all kinds of advertorials in the media everywhere. Program is happening about women rights, women rights. It just pisses me off. I respect the woman. I have always said it from time to time when I talk with people, they are more spiritual. They are more powerful, if you want to look at it, than males. But you see the beautiful part of it. There is no such thing as male and female in humanity. You begin to see, when you come to the surface, to the peripheral levels of existence, that's why you see male and female, which is biochemical and electromagnetic existence. Human beings are beyond these levels. But for the fact that you carry a female body doesn't make you female. The Bible even said God created man or humans in his own image and likeness. Male and female created he him. Therefore, what the Bible is talking about here is that in creation is that human beings encapsulate the male and female contents. Male and female is a function on this lower universe. When you cross the lower universe level, you are no longer a human, you are no longer a male or female, you are human, you are spirit, you are powerful, you are not what you think you are. Then we get to the sexual preference. Now, how can somebody begin to define his life, their life, on the basis of their sexual preference? Isn't that madness? I'm heterosexual, and the other one says he's gay, the other one says he's whatever, or he's bi. How does that become a basis of your self-definition? Oh, because I'm a vegetarian, or a vegan and you are a vegetarian and you are a meatarian and you are a fruitarian, therefore you create a wall. These are all disgruntled accidents of life. You don't have to define yourself on the basis of this thing, because what you define yourself by becomes the basis of your experience of life. So if you define yourself on the basis of a label that is as reductive as your gender, as your tribe, as your race, as your sexual preference, come on, is life all about sex? That's what you are saying, that your life is about your sex. That's why you are defining yourself on the basis of your gender, defining yourself on the basis of your sexuality. That's a disgrace to your humanity. And those of you who discriminate against people because, oh, they are homosexuals, oh, they are lesbians, I think there is a problem with that mindset, because that shouldn't be a basis for judging anybody. Your life as a human being embraces all. You should be non-discriminatory. That is how life functions. A person does not cease to breathe properly, function properly, because he has become gay or because he has become a lesbian. We are all still benefiting from the largesse, the abundance of life and the generosity of life, irrespective of our sexual preference. Religion has created these problems where we are not able to distinguish between the accidents of our existence and the design of our being. This is why discriminations come into play. If you really want to function, to have that blessings of God that added no sorrow, to experience the blessings of life without the sorrows that follow them, you need to break through all of these things, to be generous, to be non-discriminatory, and then to understand the principles of abundance and live by them. You see, this video is becoming the longest I've done because it is a very touching thing for me. You are not what your physical body defines you are, not even what your mind defines you are. You are beyond your mind, you are beyond your body, you are even beyond your environment. The environment tells you are Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo, and it is becoming the basis of even decimation of trust in our nation today in Nigeria. Until a human being transcends these peripheral troubles, these peripheral considerations of life, that person is hardly animal. Let's talk about being human. And some religions tell you that, oh, demons are your enemies, angels are your friends. Oh, they begin to come up with all kinds of stories just to create a wedge between you and your existence. I told somebody long ago, I made my peace with Satan, with Lucifer, with demons. I don't have anything against any entity, as long as they have life in them, because life is the source, is the creator, is God. As long as they have life in them, then they are my brothers and sisters. They might be wayward, they might be anything. I don't care about that. I am also myself by my experiences. But I have to transcend my experiences. The idea of creating a lifestyle, creating a prayer, creating a whatever it is to say that you have. Once you create an enemy in your mind, that enemy begins to exist. So if you create a life in which you see the demons as your enemies, so bad for you. Remember, if you are a Christian, remember what the Bible says. When a person's ways please God, God makes even their enemies to be at peace with them. Why can't you follow that life? First of all, live a life that pleases God. Live a life that is pleasing. This is where the concept of non-discrimination comes in. If you don't discriminate, you won't make enemies. You won't have enemies. Don't forget, what you give to life comes back to you. So if you give discrimination, discrimination comes to you. So think twice. Life is bigger than your labels define it to be. Thank you.